it back. Ay. Same day, why I'ma run it back. Friday, payday, run it back. Ay. Run it back, run it back, run it back. 48 yards, I run it back. Ay. I cop a car, I run it back. Go yo, then run it back. Run it back, run it back, run it back. Hello, that's the jag calling. Let me click over real quick to let my jag talk it. I eat it, ooh, Pac-Man, that's the way my neck talking. Right, I ain't never coming back the way the stress. You don't make no clap back when you backpack, my bad, but I'm past that. With a NASDAQ, that's cash. When the money fall, I'ma slap that. Clap when the money go, you don't slap. That's facts. If the money low, I'ma grab brown man. When it come back, I'ma give back my bad. When the check hit, the direct hit. I'm glad when the check missed the direct hit. I'm sad like, who's that knocking at my window? My window. They say that it's the money, I'm like tenfold. Over and out. That's gon' make you up like a limbo. She said she not a, she an. Why you do that like that? Like that? It's a lot of money. Why are you mad like that? Like that? Ooh, I'm in my new bag. My bad. You ain't getting too bad. My bad. Yeah. First of the month, I'ma run it back. Ay. Same day, why I'ma run it back. Friday, payday, run it back. Ay. Run it back, run it back, run it back. 48 yards, I run it back. Ay. I cop a car, I run it back. Go yo, then run it back. Run it back, run it back, run it back.
S-T-R-O. Yeah. How many of y'all came to win?
Oh, they asking my name, huh?
You ready?
S-T-R-O. I ain't come to play with you. Yeah. Life challenging.
And thank you, Coach. We are across the Hudson from Midtown Manhattan at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Chicago Bears and the New York Giants. This will be fielded at the 8. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line.
At their own 28-yard line.
Here we go, here we go.
Here's the first carry for Tariq Cohen. This will go for 5 up to the 33. 5 yards on the game's first play, second down.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. The first carry now. This is Johnson. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. He'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
An early tough test on the opening drive. This is 3rd and 8. Operating from the gun. Fields able to find Shaheen, the tight end. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 16 yards is the pickup there and a first down for Chicago.
First down.
On first down, Fields. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. A good pickup, 17 yards and a Bear first down.
Chicago.
So the drive takes him into Giants territory now, 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. And to give this time to the tailback. And he'll get 3 down at the 34-yard line.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
They stay on the ground. This time it's Johnson. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
So 3rd down now. They need the 27-yard line for a first. From the gun, Fields. Cooper's got it. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Giants' 22-yard line. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching the football. That's why he's able to produce those types of numbers.
The first down carry here for Johnson. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down. 2nd and 11.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of...
Looking for Cooper, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Dane Cruikshank, and he will bring it out past the 20-yard line. Cooper was the target there. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training. So he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
Now, the first play of the drive there is incomplete. You got a young quarterback. Maybe that's just an example of a growing pain for him.
I think you're right about that, because when the game starts to move fast and it moves quickly on him, a lot of times they fall back on what they know best, their arm. He's slinging it on this one. Had a wide-open target, but didn't have the proper footwork to increase his accuracy.
17 yards and a Giant first down.
Almost not fair. The big guy running the corner route, being able to lean and push and get to where he wants.
So how do you stop him?
A lot of times you want to have a linebacker on him, a bigger body guy who can handle him physically, but a lot of times that doesn't work as well because his quickness often wins the route.
Rock it.
On first down, Whittington. Akeem Hicks that time on the tackle.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Now Jones. Got a man, Slayton. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made here at the Bears' 38-yard line. Really been an ideal start for them. They get the turnover on the opening possession. Now here they are moving the ball straight down the field on their first drive.
And that feels good, but you know on their side of the field all they're thinking is finish this drive off because they took it away, right? So now you got them back on their heels a little bit. Now go down, put a touchdown on them. Look out. You've won the mental battle early in the game, and that may carry over for you.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. Now Jones to throw again. He'll complete this to Ingram as tight end. And he's brought down at the 34. Call it a gain of 4. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. Seventh play of the drive upcoming here on 3rd and 6. Throwing Jones. He wants it all for the end zone. And that is caught. He's got it for a giant touchdown. As his guys are in for 6. As his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely.
With some teams, I script to probe in the early part of the game. Other teams, I script to attack. They've been in attack mode for these ball games and continue that in this one.
This will be taken about the 12. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive as we grind toward the end of the season here, and they haven't had the season that they had hoped. So let me ask you to play GM. Where might they look to make some changes?
I think when you look into the upcoming draft, think hard about them drafting multiple offensive linemen. They've got to get stouter up front. And as a GM, it always tells me, Charles, this is a big boy league, and big people always end up winning games for you.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Second and 9 now. Gonna let one fly for Robinson. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by the Michigan man, Jabril Peppers. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. Even though they might not find the number 1 seed next to their name come playoff time, there's not going to be very many teams, if any, entering the playoffs on the kind of run they're on. They're hot.
And I love that word, hot, because every team in the league wants to go into the playoffs on that uptick. Because a lot of the time you serve notice to the rest of the league that, hey, we're the team you need to deal with. We're the team that's going to be a real problem for you. And if they can continue this streak, they could very well be that team and gain that confidence that they're seeking as they head to the playoffs.
And confidence, that's the word I would use from our meetings with them. They said we're playing our best football right now. It is showing. Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete. Getting a hand in there and knocking it away, Eddie Jackson.
Sure, that pass was incomplete as they made an attempt to get a big one downfield. But that's okay because the second part of that is if you don't get the completion, at least you've told the defense you're trying to stretch them out a little bit, and they may have to change accordingly.
Looking to throw. Jones. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. That's sacked by Khalil Mack.
2 sacks last week, another one right here. He's been unblockable lately, and I think that goes all the way back to not just his offseason, but the film study he's been doing during the week, because I think he's found matchups that he likes, and he's capitalizing.
And a few times he's even defeated double teams. He doesn't care at this point.
Let's go, baby. At their own 20-yard line.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively. Obviously, 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit like, hey, didn't we practice in that colored jersey all week, not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with him. But whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy.
On 2nd down, Johnson. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll set up a 3rd down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Back to throw. Fields Gonna let one fly for Robinson. That's gonna be knocked away and incomplete. Jabril Peppers, a former first-round pick, there on the coverage.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on third down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a fourth down decision.
Here comes Grant on the return. Great blocking, nearly sprung him there. 28-yard return. And the Giants will begin this drive in good shape. 1st and 10.
Here you go, here you go. 60 or. I smell fear in that offense.
Jones now on 1st and 10. And he can't find anywhere to go with it. And he goes down.
Okay, was it a breakdown in protection? Did the running back not pick him up? What does it really matter? Sometimes it's just a great play made by the defense. Big-time sack.
Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack.
Set the tone, defense. Set the tone, defense.
2nd and long. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
4 minutes to play here in quarter number 2.
Hard. Check. Lucky. Look at me. Go. Now.
On 3rd down, Whittington. And he stopped up short of the first as they tackle him down at about the 36. It'll be a pickup of 13, but it'll still lead to a 4th down. They had quite a hole to dig out of there on 3rd and long. Not able to get the first, but a pretty good-sized run.
A really good run, but how much confidence do you have in your next play call that you can sell to the head coach? Let's go get it on 4th down. Do you really have a play you believe in, or are you just hopeful? And you've got to sell it to the big man before it gets called.
These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. The Bears in good field position to start out. 1st and 10 at the 40. Looking to throw. Fields. And that's caught inside the 30. And he takes this one in for a Bears touchdown. Amari Cooper hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season as they are now on the board here in the first half. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go. Look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
So just a 3-point game now as they send this one away. This is taken just shy of the 10 here. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line.
At their own 28-yard line.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. Here's a first down throw that's complete. And all the way in. Touchdown, New York. Darius Slayton, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Giants strike quickly here for 6 points. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. That's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did. Let's see how they adjust.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. Amari Cooper, the intended target. And that takes us from second to third down.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things. And he'll be stopped at the 27-yard line, well short of the first down marker. He opted to go with his scramble, gets 2 yards, and now it's fourth. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt, and it'll be Giant football, 1st and 10. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. There's really no reason to change what they've been doing to this point. They've got the lead. They've looked good this first half.
I agree with you totally, and a lot of coordinators, play callers feel exactly the same way. Until you stop what I'm doing, why should I make any changes? But there are a few that kind of outguess themselves or try to outguess the opponent, and they try to consider what they would do to take things away and go to those plays right away. It'll be fun to watch when they get to the second half to see which way they go.
Yeah, but to this point, it certainly hasn't been broke. We'll see if they try to fix anything. An excellent pickup of 34 yards. So the big play moves him all the way across midfield to the 40 now for 1st and 10. Back to throw. Jones. He's got Mason complete. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. 28 yards the gain there on the catch and run.
I think the good offensive coordinators in the league now are looking at the fullback position and finding the right guys to hide in that spot and increase their passing game, as we just saw there. How about the run after catch? Tracked it.
Well, yeah, whether it's a true fullback, a tight end, you put in the fullback spot, you know they're going to be tough to bring down if you can get them the football in the passing game. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Now a handoff here to his running back. And this may be a carbon copy as he'll again be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. And the kick by Rosas is good. So a late 3 there, and that'll help as they head into the break.
Talk about situational football and something they've worked on since the OTAs and mini camps the previous summer. They take care of the ball, get 3 points, knowing they're going to get the ball to start the second half. That's the old 2-for-1 special to finish things off.
After the field goal, here's Rosas to kick it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. Time here for likely one play, then off to the locker room, and they're going to have some adjustments to make.
They certainly will, and I think a lot of people are thinking.
And he's going to go down. Couldn't get a throw off with the pressure. Maybe that was for the best, as that brings us to the end of this first half of play. So we have come upon halftime here in Week 17 as we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The final 2 quarters of the NFL regular season are upon us as the second half of Week 17 is underway. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback.
Let's go.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32. Another good carry there for the NFL's second leading rusher, and we've talked on air, off air about his MVP candidacy. Make a case for him.
But I'm just going to tell you point blank, it doesn't matter whether he's first or second or even third in the league in rushing yardage. That's not the main deal. It's how he gets those yards and the impact he has on his ball club.
Now, meanwhile, here's a second down throw that's knocked away and incomplete. The intended receiver there, Ian Thomas, and it's 3rd and short.
And 3 yards to go.
Here we go. 60 Pittsburgh.
Here we go. Here we go.
They'll try to run for it with Barkley. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. They have the first down with that gain of 4 yards.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Jones fakes the give to Barkley. He'll buy some time right. Thomas has got it, complete. Right about 20 yards on the pickup. Officially, they'll say it's going to go for 19.
As a general rule, offensive linemen like to know where their quarterback's going to be when he's setting up to throw the football. But sometimes they just have to get on the run, get on the move. He was able to do that on that play and picks up a first down with a nice throw.
Now this one complete downfield on the left side. 23 yards on the play.
The beauty of route running is it doesn't matter what position, everyone's doing the same thing. In this case, tight end, selling the vertical route. Get the defensive back on his heels, break off for the corner, and with good timing, you get a completion as we just saw there.
And it's intercepted at the goal line. Eddie Jackson picks it. And they'll have the football, but deep in their own territory as he's brought down at the 5. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
Now that sends them 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to second down. So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. From deep in their own territory, they look to throw. Looking middle, and it's incomplete. Sammy Watkins, the intended receiver.
And that incompletion was caused by the defense. I think they were trying to get one into the middle of the field, trying to find a receiver there. But they were in zone defense. And what are the advantages of being in zone? Eyes and reaction. Eyes meaning all eyes are on the quarterback and able to react when he throws the football and rally to that spot. And that's exactly what happened there. Able to get there and knock it away.
On the catch, it's Duke Johnson. And they'll get him down up past the 15-yard line. 14 yards in a Chicago first down. So a little breathing room now. 1st and 10 at the 17. They'll run on first down. It's Johnson, and they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're back.
And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Lorenzo Carter, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
Instead, they go empty backfield as they look to throw. And this is caught by Watkins. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. 33 yards that time. Obviously, they're not where they want to be right now on the scoreboard. Big plays like that, though, that'll trend them in the right direction.
Yeah, a few more like that, they'll be right back in the game. And if they can continue to do that, maybe they'll inspire their defense as well and get a few stops.
Looking to throw, and that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. 2nd down.
But depending on the team, they call that an explosive play or a chunk play, the one that they got on the previous one. They tried to go back and get another one, didn't they?
They did, but unsuccessful on that 2nd attempt. Now this one over the middle into the hands of his tight end, complete. So the drive takes them into Giants territory now. 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line.
Mike 29. Let's go, tight end. Let's go right here now. Greystone, travel. He's checking crack. Shift. Watch the shift. 5.
1st down, a run with Cohen. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 23, and the return will be stopped at the 34-yard line. Intended that time for Cooper.
And, Brandon, this is a real nice job defensively of getting inside a quarterback's head and figuring out, okay, where's he going with the football? Because you can make an educated guess defensively, not all the time, but sometimes. And when you're right, you've got a decent chance of coming away with the football.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. Of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Looking to throw. Jones. They'll get this complete to the Notre Dame man, Equinemius St. Brown. It's a gain of 11 and a Giant 1st down.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
Back to throw. Jones. And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. Picked off by Kyle Fuller. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Two-score game here in the fourth, and that pick, it kind of keeps the door ajar, doesn't it?
It does, and you wonder about their strategy because with a two-score lead, you would think maybe you're just sitting on it and trying to drain some clock. It's almost like they felt like, hey, we've got a good cushion. We can keep pressing it. It ended up costing them.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Complete. It's Johnson. That one good for 20 on the catch and run. At this stage, this drive's got to be touchdown or bust because you need two of them.
And if I'm the offensive play caller, I'm not just looking at my dagger plays downfield. I'm looking at some of my specials, something that can fool them and give you a big play now.
With a sense of urgency.
No doubt.
This quarterback now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Lorenzo Carter make that now 8 sacks for him on the season. They'll look to throw here. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Dexter Lawrence in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down. Went backwards. It's 3rd and very long.
Hey, Alpha.
They'll drop to throw. He's going to rifle one deep left side. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 47. And his guys are going to get the football at their own 47-yard line.
Partner, we always talk about possessions being at a premium in these games, and now in this situation, throwing an interception here when you have to claw your way back in, that one's going to hurt, and in a big way.
Good starting field position for the New York Giants here as they come up 1st and 10 on their side of midfield at the 47. And very little running room there. He did get a couple up to the 49.
2 yards into the pickup. It's 2nd and 8 at their 49.
Hey, foxtrot, 5.
From just shy of midfield, Jones forced it, and he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Sam Hubbard making his presence felt in the backfield. He was trying to keep his eyes downfield. Nobody came open.
He's trying to do everything that he had been taught, right? Every bit of the technique. But if no one's open, there is no technique except make sure you hold on to the ball as you go to the ground when you're getting sacked.
Escaping the pressure right. Now he's going to throw. It's caught inside the 25. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. A great pickup there, 35 yards, and obviously the first down to go along with it. So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Looking to throw. Jones gets this out to Saquon Barkley. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. 5 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it 2nd down. Looked like a pretty good, safe play right there. No, he's had trouble with the interceptions in this game there. Hits his guy out in the flat.
Yeah, so many times we hear quarterbacks and offensive coordinators talk about in your progressions, you're either throwing the touchdown or you're throwing the check down. But earlier in the game, it was touchdown or interception. Now he got to the check.
And he will take it on in for a giant touchdown. From 17 yards out. And the Giants are able to add on to their lead. And they drew up the counter there. It worked. They're glad they drew up the counter.
And a lot of times what you're trying to do is just simply get the defense moving in one direction. It doesn't take much. Even one step's enough. Get them going in one direction and then cut back against the grain and let your running back finish it off and get the work done.
So unable to throw it in for 2 from the 2. Let me ask you, as a former DB, what changes there around the goal line on a 2-point conversion as far as how you're defending it?
You just make sure you never back up and you never retreat. You establish yourself really on the line of scrimmage, put your heels on the goal line at worst, and if they're going to throw the ball, make them throw it over your head because they're going to run out of space because of the back of the end zone. Never let a guy catch one in front of you.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if nowhere to escape, and he goes down. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on second down. They'll set up a throw. Incomplete. Amari Cooper, his intended receiver, and now... It's third down.
Amari Cooper, incomplete. It's third down.
We go. 50, plant.
Here we go. Three. Watch 14.
Go.
14. Here we go. Tight right.
Go. Ready.
A first throw for the backup Trubisky. And this is caught by Watkins. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. A good pickup there of 20 yards. Now Trubisky on first down. And the hook up here to Allen Robinson. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. So the Bears with the football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Rolling to his right. Now a desperation throw. And this is intercepted, but they'll say out of bounds. Oh, very close to a turnover there in the end zone. Allen Robinson, the intended receiver. But it's going to be second down. So line of scrimmage still the 39 on 2nd and 10. Looking to throw again, Trubisky. Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. Picked off at the 19. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. All smiles and high fives on that defensive sideline. That interception will cap off what was truly a tremendous performance.
Yeah, if you can hold a team to 7 points in the NFL, that's the kind of day that you feel really good about. Now, I do know a few guys are going to think to themselves, held them to 7. If we'd made one more play, could have had our shutout.
Brings up 2nd and 8 at the 21-yard line.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. They'll keep it on the ground. Whittington. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down.
Set. 60 or.
I'm going to run you under.
Jones from the gun. He'll throw. It got his man complete. And all the way down to the 39. A big play there for the Giants. 43 yards. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. That one looks like he'll throw here. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. They were looking for Johnson that time, and that'll bring up 2nd down. And the incompletion there stops the clock. Any surprise they're throwing here late?
Ordinarily, yes, because you would think enough is enough. They've got plenty of lead, but I've seen this a bunch of times as well. The defense is going to crowd the line of scrimmage. If you just hand it off inside, you're getting your running back popped a lot as well. Sometimes the defense dictates it. If they're going to crowd it, you may have no other choice but to throw it downfield.
It's a gain of 11 and a Giant first down.
Let's go. 60 outlaw.
And here we go. Watch the pass. Watch the pass.
Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. And that one incomplete as it stops the clock, reading 18 seconds to go. They're still throwing the football here. Now, obviously, the incompletion stops the clock. That's a bad thing.
Feels to me like they're just keeping them honest on defense because you know they're going to stack the line of scrimmage and try and stop any type of a running play. Short little passes may work in exchange of running plays. Keep the clock moving, keep them moving.
Yeah, I guess you're right. If they can get some first downs, just as good as running the football. So a victory here for the men in blue, the New York Giants. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the second quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
So for the Giants, a final win here means they'll finish off the regular season at a solid 13-3. And now they'll await the final seeding for the playoffs ahead. Meanwhile, for Chicago, they'll limp to the finish line with a final record of 5-11. And this is a team that has a few good pieces in place but could stand to get deeper and younger